guys, welcome to another ASMR Retro. Today I want to talk about some computer games that I programmed back in the 90s. Yes, I made some homemade, low-budget video games with a very primitive programming language called Turing. It's just like an introductory, basic programming language, not really meant for anything serious. Definitely not meant for game programming, but I did anyway, and it actually created DOS programs. And if you don't know what DOS is, it's a operating system that was around before Windows. But anyways, I'll just get right into it and show you probably the best game that I made, and I use that term best very loosely, but it's the best game that I made, which was WWF Monday Night Raw, basically. So yes, it's a wrestling game. So let's just jump right into it. Now maybe I'll talk a little bit more about the history of this stuff a little bit later in the video. Okay, there you see the title screen. Monday Night Raw. The nice flashy graphics and a nice explosion. Now, I'll pause the video for a second. So all this game footage is actually pre-recorded. So I'm gonna pause it so I can get in some commentary. So here is the main menu, and the first thing you'll notice is that my spelling was absolutely terrible. So yeah, I'm not gonna point out every single spelling error. You can see them for yourselves, but it is what it is. Actually, I was gonna fix up those spelling mistakes for this video, but I'm like, you know what? I'll just leave it as it is. So let's continue here. Wait, hold on. There's actually a few options here. So you have exhibition, which is player versus CPU. Second option is exhibition, player versus player, and then number 3 is championship, player versus CPU. So you basically go through. You have to beat each wrestler, and then you win the belt. And then 4 is instructions, and 5 is exit. So we'll just continue. I think first I demonstrate player versus CPU, and I just show you each wrestler in the game. So let's just skip ahead a little bit here. Okay, here we go. So, wow, there's a lot to dissect here. So there's the wrestler selection screen. So you have number 1, Stone Cold Steve Austin. So yeah, the graphics are very primitive. I had to like draw each, item with a line of code. So like, draw a circle, and then it would draw like Stone Cold's head, and then I have to put all the coordinates and stuff like that, which was very extremely tedious. There was no bitmaps in this game, not this particular game, anyways. So number 2 was Shawn Michaels. You can see he has a ponytail there. Everyone looks pretty much the same in terms of the graphics and their body type. Well, mostly, anyways. Triple H is number 3, and you can see he looks pretty much like Shawn Michaels. The hair is a bit different, and he has a bigger nose than everybody else, because he kind of has that big nose. Number 4 is Kane, and yes, I know Kane is spelled wrong. That's how I spelled it. So yeah, Kane looks pretty cool, I think. And 5 is Undertaker, which he has pretty much the same body and everything as Kane, just he has no mask and different colors and whatnot. And then number 6 is The Rock, and he has the sideburns and the hair and all that. So a pretty good roster, definitely. I'm surprised I was able to get 6 wrestlers in this game. So let's continue. So player 1, choose a wrestler. So first I'll show you each wrestler and the different moves that they have. So just briefly, there's basically a punch, a kick, and then there's one special move, and then a finisher. And the special move, you can do it when you see a little star appear in the corner. So here it is. You can see Stone Cold is punching, Shawn Michaels punching, kicking, and then look at the finisher. You see that he stomped the mud hole in Shawn Michaels and gave him the finger, just like he used to do that in the corner of the ring, not just in the middle of the ring. And there's Shawn Michaels' finisher, elbow off the top rope, and that's basically it in terms of the moves. Well, except for the finishers. You'll see the finishers in a minute. Boom, there it is. Stone Cold Stunner. So that's pretty much it. It is a 2-player game, but you could also So now we'll do, let's see, Shawn Michaels versus Triple H. And there you go. Pretty much the same thing. You see Shawn Michaels' hair gets cut off when he punches sometimes, but you know, that's what it was, you know. And this was, it blew me away that making a game like this was even possible. I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like, what else can I do with this? What are the possibilities? And like I said, I had no idea what I was doing whatsoever. I was just making it up as I went along. So there's some pretty awful code going on here. But let's look at the finisher here. Should be the super kick. Sweet chin music coming up. He does the foot stomp and bam, there it is. Not too bad, not too shabby. So let's see now who it's gonna be. Should be Triple H. And I'm not sure who I select as the opponent. Now Triple H, at this time is when he was with China. He was still pretty new. So in terms of his special move, I didn't know what to do. So you'll see what it is in a second. Yeah, that's supposed to be a chair, and he smashes the guy over the head. Because Triple H was always cheating back then, so I figured a chair made sense. And I kind of imagined that China standing on the side there, or outside of the ring, handing him the weapon. Of course, today that chair would be a sledgehammer. We all know that, but he didn't have the sledgehammer gimmick yet. And let's look at the pedigree. See if I get the pedigree right. Here it comes. Not bad. It was like 2 frames of animation, but I can live with that. And then Kane should be next. I think Kane looks the coolest, and the Undertaker looks pretty cool too. Kane looks cool because he's the only guy with the mask, and he's actually bigger than the other wrestlers. Everyone, oh yeah, there's the choke slam. Everyone pretty much has the same build except for Kane and Taker, which they're bigger. But everyone else has the same body, except for different colors in some cases. There he goes, stomps a mud hole. Man, this was so much work to make this, but it's mostly because I didn't know what I was doing. If I were to make this today, I'd probably do it much better. Now check this out. Tombstone. Boom. Not bad. It's like 2 or 3 frames, but sometimes that's all you need. And now, of course, it'll be the Undertaker versus, who did I pick? Kane, maybe. As the opponent. Yeah, makes sense. And, yeah, they're pretty much exactly the same. Now, there's some kind of glitch here. If you look at the Undertaker's arm when he punches, like where his stomach area is, some kind of, I don't know what that is, a glitch in the graphic there, but it is what it is, like I said. And I actually had to recompile this because the animations were happening way too fast, because when I programmed it, computers were a lot slower, so I didn't take into account that computers would speed up and then the animations would be too fast, so I had to add some delay in between the animation. And then finally we have The Rock. And man, you gotta check out his special. It is a stunning piece of animation. So that's a pretty good depiction of The Rock at the time, I think. And here we go. The most electrifying move in sports entertainment today. Boom, the people's elbow. That's pretty funny. Definitely some glitches going on here. Look at the top of Stone Cold's head. It's like it gets cut off because his elbow is just so powerful. It's just so electrifying. And even like the ring post on the left side is like cut off too. But that's what happens when you don't know what the hell you're doing. And then the rock bottom is pretty laughable too. And I'll show you why in a second. So the finishers just happen automatically when the wrestler runs out of power energy. Yeah, there it is. Check this out. Let me go back and see if you can spot what the problem is. Hold on. facing upward. That's just because I was too lazy to reposition the eye and the mouth down so it looked like he's facing down. So I just reused the body of when he was facing upwards, but you don't really notice at full speed. So the tricks of the trade, folks, the tricks of the trade. And you can see the repeating letters here when you go back to the screen, the start screen or whatever, or the menu screen. That was kind of a problem with this programming language. I think there is a way to avoid that, but I didn't know how to do it at the time. Okay, let me switch now. Okay, now before I go on to show you the exhibition, or sorry, the championship mode, let me show you some of the other little demos that are related to this wrestling game that I made. So this is this was gonna be part 2 of Raw's War. I started working on this, and I was gonna be, as you can see right off the bat, the graphics are much better, higher resolution. It says Raw's War on the ring at the bottom there, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool detail. The wrestlers are a bit more detailed, like The Rock on his trunks. You can see you have the Rock logo on the front and back and stuff like that. So I didn't get very far in working on this game, but I'll show you what I got or where I ended up. So the animations are going to look a little bit too fast on this because I didn't fix the animation speed. So it might look like kind of a blur when they punch, whenever they start punching. Now they're just staring each other down. There we go. So yeah, just kind of a blink of the eye. But yeah, it's pretty. Now see, I added a feature where when the wrestler's on the floor, you can do like stomp on them and stuff like that, or do submission holds and all that. But all I added at this point was the floor stomps. I'm saying at this point as if I'm ever gonna finish this, but so yeah, like I said, I didn't get as far as I wanted to, but I definitely was planning to add a lot more stuff, and more wrestlers and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty much, that's all there is to it. The wrestler falls, you can stomp on their foot, and let me see, let me skip ahead a bit because there's something else. Okay, here's where we go into WWE 2K20 mode, because there's some glitches here, because I was, just in the process of testing and debugging, not testing really, but I was debugging and stuff like that, so it's kind of looks like a mess. But so there's obviously Mankind, aka Mick Foley, I guess corporate Mick Foley, when he had the tie, when he started with the tie gimmick. He didn't always have a tie, did he? I don't think so. Anyways, there he is with the tie. Not a bad depiction of him. But then on the right side, there looks like an upside down. Oh, I know what I was doing. I was drawing a Mick Foley upside down, but I wasn't quite finished. You can see part of his mask where his feet are, and his hair is up there too. But let's continue. Let's see what happens if we try to play the game like this, because some funny stuff starts to happen. Yeah, see. So now it's Mick Foley versus Mick Foley. Not a bad depiction of Mick Foley. Oh wait, what? Whoa, what's going on? They're in Stone Cold for a second there. Oh wow! And see on the screen now, near the top left, it says Dung E. So yeah, I was clearly debugging something and put that message in there so I can detect when some event occurred. But yeah, definitely some glitches going on there. I have no idea why this was cancelled. Okay, but at least I had the good sense to not release this. Not like I released any of these games, but okay, next up. So now I want to show you another little demo that I made. This was like one of the first things that I programmed with this language. And one of the first games anyways, maybe it was the first game, but it was a simple little, I guess, prototype of a wrestling game. And you'll see it's very similar to the WWE game, but this is just, I guess I didn't finish it, but this was like the selection screen. So that you can see there's one character called Jim Jaker, very questionable name. And obviously I didn't finish this character, but let's just keep going. Yeah, so it's basically the same thing. You just have two moves, a low punch and high punch, and a finisher. Check it out, finish him. Yeah, so he just lasers the guy. face and he just blows up. His head blows up, so Jaker wins that match. Pretty simple. But I remember showing my friends at school and they're like blown away. It's like, what? How did you do that? Oh, that's amazing. People like having, guys were playing against each other and almost getting into fights, real fights over who's like, winning and stuff like that. So, and once again, the animations are very overly fast, but yeah, and this guy, Simon, apparently is his name, and he just punches the guy's head off. So that's about all there is to that game. You can see how the idea evolved from that to a wrestling game. Okay, now this was just another little thing I was trying where I figured out how to put actual images into the game, and that just blew my mind. I didn't know that was possible with Turing. I thought that was the coolest thing, so I'm like, okay, let me try to make a menu for an upcoming wrestling game, a character select menu. So it's like choose your wrestler, Stone Cold, and you have like a nice picture of Stone Cold there with the two beer cans and the two fingers up. Then let's see, oh, actually, hold on. Yeah, okay, now I'm playing the video. So let's see what images I used here, and you can see what kind of roster I was planning. And it looks like my spelling improved too. I believe this is playing. Do I have to skip ahead a little bit? Oh, there it goes. So there's The Rock. Looking pretty cool. Mankind. Triple H. And come on, hurry up, Retro. There it is. Kane. Oh no, Kane didn't load, but there's Rikishi. I was actually gonna have Rikishi in the game too, which would have been pretty cool. And that's about all there is there. Oh yeah, Triple H did show up. Oh no, Kane. Kane was missing, I think. Did you see Kane in there? Let me look. Yeah, I guess I didn't have Kane, but yeah, that really, I was like, wow, you can put images in Turing games, that's amazing. So I had high hopes for that technology, that ancient technology. So now this is the original wrestling game I made, WWF Monday Night Raw, and I'm gonna go for the championship belt this time, so I have to defeat every wrestler 2 times, I believe, 2 times in a row. So I choose Stone Cold, good old Stone Cold Steve Austin, going for the championship. And we start off with The Rock. And there is some very basic AI in the game. And like the enemies do attack, or the opponents do attack back. And it's pretty easy at first. But when you get to the last opponent, it'll be a lot tougher. And actually I had to play through this twice, because the first time I played, I died. Or I didn't die, but I lost when I was facing the final opponent. So I had to record it again. But it doesn't take too long to complete. So I beat The Rock once, and I will beat him again. And there's no surprise there, Stone Cold always beats The Rock. And by the way, there is some sound in this game, but it's terrible. It's like PC speaker sound. And if you've never heard PC speaker sound, consider yourself lucky. It is not relaxing at all. So The Rock gets in a people's elbow at the last second, but it's not enough. Too little, too late, and boom, he eats a stunner. So now, the second match is against Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And it's getting a bit tougher. It's going to be a little bit closer, but Stone Cold will prevail. So yeah, this programming language, Turing, named after Alan Turing, just like the movie. And I was in high school and I was taking a computer programming course. Well, it was a computer science course, I guess. And they introduced this programming language as a way to learn programming. And like I said, it's definitely not for any kind of serious programming whatsoever, and definitely not for making games. Although there's, as you can see, some primitive graphic abilities. But of course, I saw that and I'm like, I think I can make a game out of this stuff. And I had no idea what I was doing. Like I said, I didn't even really look online. I mean, the internet was still kind of new, but I wanted to figure stuff out for myself. And I just kind of made it up as I went along, I guess. I was like, how do I solve this problem? How do I do this? How do I do that? And I found ways to do it. Now, there's definitely some severe limitations see. And I'm kind of curious now, like now that I could probably program a lot better, I'm kind of curious if I were to use Turing, how good of a game I can make, how much better I can make a game. I mean, it's still very limited on what you could do, but I am curious. So I might do that as a fun project. Maybe I can make videos about it too. Try making a little game with Turing using what I know now from programming, which is a lot more than I did back then, just to see what I can come up with, just as a curiosity. But other than that, I was thinking also of programming games with different languages, retro style games, and again making videos about it. Maybe I can make ASMR the video game, I don't know. So here we go, it's Stone Cold versus the Heartbreak Kid rematch of WrestleMania 14, was it? When Stone Cold wins the belt, although this isn't the final match in this particular tournament, if you want to call it that. Let's see if Shawn Michaels does the job. Boom. That was the first match. But yeah, it was a lot of fun programming these games. A lot of work, but also a lot of fun. And then I did do some game programming with different languages, but it kind of died off a little bit. Like I kind of lost interest. But for a time, I would always start like these projects, game projects, and then just give up after a while, just because I got bored or whatever. And I'd buy all these game programming books, and I never, like I read a little bit, and I'd just be like, whatever, and I lose interest. So I have a stack of game programming books, and I'll probably do a video about that too. So here we go, here's the final opponent, and as you can see, if you look at the power bars at the top, it's a pretty close race. I had to do a bit of a comeback on this one. There's actually a little bit of a cheat, that if you, once you get the star to do your special move, if you don't do it right away, if you just keep attacking after, and then if you do it after a certain amount of time, then you'll do 3 special moves in a row. So I had to cheat a little bit on that one. So there's the first victory over the Undertaker. One more and I win the championship. And actually when you finish, when you win the belt, it actually plays a little bit of the wrestler's song. But again, you're not going to hear it here definitely, because it's just very loud and annoying PC speaker type sound. Like picture Atari sound, but 1,000 times worse. But in terms of the actual notes, it was pretty close. It's recognizable as, I think, the wrestler's theme songs. Alright, let's see this spectacular ending. Here is your winner and new WWF Heavyweight Champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And as Jim Ross would say, Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold. Oh hell yeah. Look at that belt. Amazing, amazing likeness. It's 2 shapes, a rectangle and a circle. Now you can see it says programming by Retro, graphics by Retro, music by Retro. Of course I had my actual name there, so I didn't, for privacy reasons, I just changed that to Retro. Game concept by Retro. Wow, I was very proud of myself for this. And I think all characters and theme music are products of Vince McMahon. Which, yeah, I know I didn't spell McMahon right. And Titan Sports. Special thanks to Retro. That's a joke, obviously. I wasn't that conceited. But yeah, that was a lot of fun to look back at these games that I made. And I had to actually install a DOS. Actually, it was a Windows 95 emulator to play these games, because Windows 95 also runs DOS programs. But anyways, it was a lot of fun. I have some more games that I made, non-wrestling related, and I think I'll make videos about those as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe, I think it's a little bit shorter than my usual video, but I think it's a good time to end off here. Let me know if you liked the video and you like these little games, and if you want to see more, hit the thumbs up and leave a comment and all that good stuff. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Take care, bye bye.